Hey guys, welcome back to the stream. I think we're going to take it a little bit easy today. I don't want to be developing for too long, but there is some cleaning up that needs to be done. So I'm going to make that my primary focus today. Especially since our player controller class is still pretty ugly looking. So I think that would be a good place to start. Let's just get this over here. I'm the only one that needs to worry about that. There we go. Okay, let's get this shit cleaned up. Oh wait, what am I streaming as? Forgot to. Whoops, that's not correct. Let me fix this real quick. We're gonna want programming, and we're gonna want game development. Can I not do that, really? Alright, let's update. And you guys have to give me a brief moment, because I know from experience that OBS doesn't allow you to really stream no category. So I'm just going to quickly take care of that. Can I set it here, though? Yeah. Let's see, I think we're up to number 5 now. There we go. Perfect. Alright, now we can focus on getting this shit done. You know, I'm kind of thinking it might just be easier for me to create a new class to move everything into, rather than just try and clean this up at the same time. So I'm actually going to create a new one. I'm going to call this player controller controller underscore old. Because I don't just want to like highlight everything and delete Because then if we run into a problem trying to get things back to how they used to work, we're gonna have nothing to fall back on. So I'm going to just rip all this out and move that over here instead. And I think we're also gonna need to give it a UI controller. And I don't need these, so I'm not gonna bother. Also, we are currently not getting our Unity integration. How do I open that again? Tools? View, actually, I believe. Okay, Solution Explorer. All we need to do is just hit that refresh button. Can I just hide this instead? Perfect. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, so we got this old shit now. Time to get it fucking clean. Ugh. I cannot explain how much I hate doing this shit. Was our dash working before? It's gonna be kind of hard to test now, actually, that I've just cleared everything. Well, whatever. We'll know as stuff gets put back. Actually, I want to work over there. Have this over here. Perfect. Okay. So what needs to be done first? Well, we are requiring component input manager and movement controller, so we should probably at least get a reference to those, right? Or we do need to call our type input manager. We're going to do underscore IM. And we're going to have that equal be, whoops, not equal to anything yet. And we're going to need a movement controller underscore MC. We'll quickly get a reference to each of these. IM equals our get component input manager. And our MC is going to be equal to a get component movement controller. Okay. Now I really need to think of what I want this to be. I think these is grounded checks should probably be something that the movement controller is responsible for and not necessarily the player controller. Right? No, actually. I think what I want to do is have our movement controller be responsible only for actually adjusting our physics. This is our physics adjuster. So if we ever want to jump, we'll check to see if we can jump in the player controller, and movement controller will only handle what happens when we jump. So movement controller should have no validation. If we want to jump, movement controller will tell us how to jump. If we want to know can we jump, our player controller will tell us that based on our player state. So what we're gonna want is I might even want to create like a movement profile to handle some things, but I'll worry about that later. That's some top level architecture stuff that doesn't need to be put in right now, and it wouldn't even be helpful to do right now anyway. So we're gonna want a bool for is grounded. I want to handle that state myself. I do think having our maximum jump capacity here is good as well. Not serializable, serialized field, just so that we can adjust this in the editor. We need an int current jump count as well. That stays. Yeah, we're gonna want to hold our not serializable, serialized field. That's the only one I ever use. We should stop giving it to me so we have our float max energy. And you know, we'll give this one for now. We'll also need a float. Let's call this current energy, actually. Okay, so most of these I do actually want here, then. We also want... And yeah, it's all of this shit that I think I actually want to put into a separate class. Just so I can hold the variables a little bit easier. So I'm going to quickly create a new script, and we're going to call this movement profile. Movement profile, open that up, put it away. And in here, we are going to get rid of the mono behavior parent class because we're not going to be attaching this to a game object. In fact, I don't even think we need any of those, which means we don't have access to these, but that's fine because we only want this to hold values. One thing we do want, though, is we want this to be a system serializable. I'm going to give it a public float. And this is where we just add in everything we're ever going to want. So we're going to call move speed, and we're going to have a ground move speed. We're going to have a move speed air. Dash speed, and I think we are not going to care whether or not that's in the air or not. I want the dash to feel very consistent. Now, I can tell that these are bad variable names because I don't automatically remember what they're referring to. But I do need a public float. Jump power is fine. Jump power, public float, gravity, and we're going to add amounts to this. G and A acceleration for ground and air acceleration. So I want a public acceleration. Oh God, acceleration. Acceleration. There we go. Believe that it's spelled correctly. Acceleration underscore ground. And our acceleration underscore air. Just because it'll be nice to be able to quickly be able to get up to speed when we're on our ground, but if we're in the air, it should be a little bit more floaty, especially since our player character is a bird. So we have gravity, jump power, G acceleration, A acceleration, max speed, and deceleration. I'm gonna put these in later because they're not really doing a whole lot for us right now. Maybe deceleration, actually. Deceleration. If we don't need to use these later, we can just get rid of them, but they'll be nice to have so we don't have to revisit this movement profile script too terribly often. Is there anything else that we want to put in here? Our glides? I don't think I want to put our glides in. Yeah, I don't think I want to put our glides in because those are kind of very specific to our player controller. So I don't think they fit in this class. I am going to add in a public bool for can move. Public bool for use gravity. And you know what? Actually, we're going to put the public bool is grounded in here as well. That way we can just hold all these variables in one very specific class. So if I ever need to use a subset amount of these, I can just give this movement profile to something else and it will know exactly what's going on. And then we'll be able to modify these values from other classes and it will retroactively do things to our player controller as well. So we're going to take this out and we're going to serialize field a movement profile. I'm going to call this player. Actually, PLR underscore M profile. Sure. PLRMP. Our player movement profile. Besides, PLRMP is actually sounds kind of sick, not gonna lie. I like the way that sounds. That's just a thing that makes me go yes. Perfect. That's literally exactly what we want. So I should be able to set these values. I'm just gonna initialize these to basically, well, semi-random. I kind of know what I want these to be. And then here we go. So we want, first of all, our current energy to start out just equaling our max energy. That'll make it just kind of nicer overall. So I'm just going to check and make sure that this updates. It should. And oh, our max energy is 0. Yeah, okay, so we want that to be 1. It didn't initialize. That's fine. Whatever. In fact, I'm not even going to bother initializing any of these things. Just so that kind of forces... Set this to 0, actually, to start. Just so we don't get any, this thing is equal to null stuff. Because it's not going to be null. It's going to be whatever we want it to be. And I don't need Unity telling me incorrectly that I haven't initialized it so it can't be used. Because it's going to be initialized. It's a pet peeve of mine. It's a very specific Unity engine only pet peeve. I mean, all these things are still... I just don't want to look at these right now. I'm just gonna... where are we moving these? We're gonna move these over there. Out of sight, out of mind. Those aren't done yet. Those are gonna be later. Okay. Yeah, that shouldn't go over, actually. The trails and the particle systems and the UI components. You know what? Let's do this right now, actually. We're gonna call this give me a second. I'm deciding whether or not this should be just player class or if I should try and extend this for other available classes. No, you know what? No. Player effect controller. We're gonna put all of that shit in here. Let's open up our player effect controller. And I think I do want that to be a mono behavior. Is that gonna be... Or do I just need this to... I'll leave it as a mono behavior for now. Just to make things a little easier in the long run. So in here, we're going to be using our Unity engine UI components. We're going to serialize a field slider for our energy bar, which is basically just going to be our dash slider, but because it's being affected by the glide and probably other things later as well, I'm just going to call it energy. PS. What is our PS doing? Was that for... Oh yeah, that was for our Ember effect. That didn't work out. Well, since we don't have that working right now anyway, we'll leave that for later. But I do want to get a trail renderer dash trail and air trail renderer glide trail. I'm gonna serialize these out because I cannot be bothered to write a script that just gets them for me when this is so much easier. Spawn position that, something for the other class. I don't like I don't like what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to do public void toggle trails. I'm going to have a bool dash trail. Oh god, trash tail active. Do I like this? No, because then if we're doing our glide trail, then it's gonna be a pain. I mean, I could do... Okay, well... Actually, I'm gonna have a use energy function and a public void. Refill energy. I'm going to create two of these. I'm going to create a refill energy with no parameters. I'm also going to create a refill energy with a float amount parameter. And this way I can set refill energy. Well, that shouldn't be here, actually. Hold on. What am I doing? That's player controller shit. We just want to have a public void update, not update, update energy bar. That's what we want. And we're gonna give it a float, yeah, value. And then our energy bar dot value is just gonna equal value, fail ue. Rather. And we're also going to set a public void set energy bar maximum value. So that we can get our energy bar dot max value to be equal to value. And fuck. Maybe I'll just modify these in our player controller class for the moment. I guess that's fine now. So we're gonna go back to our player controller. Set these, and I'm going to in start go with. Well, I guess I need a reference to our player effect controller, don't I? Player effect controller underscore PEC. can I just, yeah, there we go. We can just get those. And I'll also throw these in while I'm here. Ding. And just to test and make sure it's working, I'm also going to put a quick update function here and just do PEC dot update energy bar to be, I don't know, current energy minus time dot top time. I just want to make sure that the bar is both working and going in the correct direction, so just set that to 5. So it should empty over 5 seconds. Yeah, works for me. I'll just leave this at, like, I don't know, 2. 2 is probably going to be a bit much. 2 goes out pretty quick, actually. Anyway, we don't need this, that's just a test. Oh, I'm gonna lean back and just chill for a second while I think. Actually, no, I'm gonna... I'll be back in a brief moment. Give me 5. No, I'll be back by then. Alright guys, I'm back. Just needed to take a quick walk and clear my head. Not feeling the best today. But this doesn't really take a lot of energy out of me. It's just kind of tedious at best. Let's try getting this thing to move. Eventually we'll want to put the animation stuff in our player effect controller as well. Okay, here we go. This is some stuff that we want. No, this should be in here as well, actually. I was thinking of maybe putting all of this directional stuff into our movement controller, but the thing is I want to be able to use the movement controller for more than just the player. As it stands right now, anything with a rigid body, we can just use this move on. It doesn't have to be our player. So one actually probably wants to make a subclass of movement controller to handle our player movement. So our movement controller, let's do that right now, actually. I'm gonna call this, whoops, player movement. We will reload, open up our player movement, and instead of mono behavior, we are going to give it our movement controller. So it'll be the same as movement controller, but we will be adding things on top of it. And in player controller, I'm just going to quickly change movement controller to player movement. I think that should be okay. That way we'll still be able to use our movement controller for other things. And it should just be okay. Why did my phone go off? Why did my phone go off? Stupid phone. Was it literally nothing? Anyone else have that problem where your phone will just go off for seemingly no reason? Oh, Markiplier is streaming. That's why it went off. Never mind. Markiplier is streaming, just chatting, talking about important stuff today. Well, if it weren't streaming myself, I might have tuned in. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna drink another coffee. We'll be right back after no messages. Be back in 5, guys. Alright, guys. Let's actually try and get some more work done before I take another break. Though, you know, I am tired. I'll take as many breaks as I need. Oh, you know what? For the next stream, I should probably put in like a countdown clock for how much time I have left. We only have so much time after all. Actually, I kinda could. Hold on. I don't know if anyone's watching the stream right now, but I'm going to try something. No, we'll do that later. We're getting distracted. Fuck me, we're getting distracted. We'll do it later. Not important. Focus. God, okay. We're gonna take a moment, and we're gonna focus. We're gonna get into a rhythm, and we're just gonna work for, you know, just a single hour more. How about that? We'll stream for 2 hours. Let's do 2 hours and 30 minutes. That gives us 1 hour and 40 minutes to get as far as we can. And then after that, we're free. We're done. That's all it takes. After all, if you want to do your best, you have to take breaks every now and then. Because if you work to the point where you're exhausting yourself, then it's no longer your best. So let's focus on basic movement. Okay? We need a vector 3, and instead of look direction, I'm going to call this look forward, which is going to be our camera. Main, transform forward. And a vector 3, look right, equals camera dot main dot transform dot right. And also, I mean, 51 minutes into the stream is a little bit late for me to be saying this, but for anyone who's watching the VOD on my YouTube channel, just want to say that I like to, well, it's not that I like to, but I would like to, you know, answer any questions, help any upcoming video game developers that are working on their own kind of get up to speed. I don't know a lot, but I have a wide set of skills, and I think I can answer a lot of basic questions. Answering questions is definitely a lot easier than actually coding a full game by yourself. There are certain architecture things that I know how they work very well in theory. I'm just not good at putting them into practice on my own. Because I'm lazy, I like to take shortcuts, and that usually ends up biting me in the ass. But if anyone wants to tune in, twitch.tv/nightroost, it'd be fun to have you guys. I'd like to get a community going and help some up-and-coming developers, well, up and come. Anyway, I'm getting distracted again. Now, I don't know about this desired direction thing. Actually, desired direction is just our input. Okay, so I'm not going to call it desired direction, though. I'm going to call this do I actually want this here?
I had no choice.
I suppose this shouldn't care what the camera looks like. Though there is one thing I want to do while I'm here. I never set up our right stick. And I know we're using that for camera controls, and it's kind of built in the Cinemachine, so we don't necessarily need it, but we might want to use it for something later, and I just like to have that set up. So we're going to copy this. I don't know how I feel about the glide being there, but we're refactoring, and this isn't a big worry at the moment. I think that should do everything that needs to be done for that. So we're gonna have a vector 3. Input direction. And we're just gonna have that be equal to, and yeah, we'll do the same kind of thing we did over here. I think with input direction being our variable name, it'll just be easier to work with because it tells a little bit more. And do we care? Not for fixed update, not for this controller. Might do it for menus and stuff, but that'll be a different script altogether, so it's fine. So we need basically this kind of setup. We need our look forward multiplied by our input manager dot left stick. We need to get its value, and we're going to pass in our Y position, which is our up and down. We need our look right. We'll multiply that by our input manager left stick value of X. And basically all this is doing is giving us a direction. Did we run out of music? We did run out of music. Let's get some more music then. Jazzy, I like it. Okay. Where was I? Oh yeah, so basically all this is doing is we're getting a vector that tells us what direction our camera is facing forward. Oh yeah, we need to do something real quick. Look forward dot Y needs to be 0. 0? Yeah, 0. Yeah. And then we're just going to normalize this. So basically all this is doing, and I'll actually just open up a quick thing here to kind of demonstrate what we're trying to accomplish here. So basically what's going on is we basically have this look forward variable. So if we, oops, that's the wrong one. So if we say have our character dot. Let's actually make that bigger. Not that much bigger. Jesus fuck. Let's do like what, 5 point for demonstration purposes. So say we have our player dot, and we're gonna get our camera dot to say be red. Now what's going on here is if we need to get basically this vector that represents, hey, it's my VIP! What's going on? I'm refactoring some shit and just kind of demonstrating it for anyone who's watching the VODs. Basically, we have our camera and we have our player and we have our direction to the player, but we don't want to get this like height variable in. We just want to know what direction it's facing forward. Basically that. So we're setting that y component to 0, and then because this would just kind of go straight up, we just want that to be on 1 vector, so that's why we normalize it, just so it's the length of 1. And then we're just getting our y value and multiplying that in so that whatever is forward on our camera is the direction we're moving when we have forward on the stick. And that seems to be a solution that's worked for me basically perfectly so far. Okay, so now that we have our direction, let's just check and make sure this works, first of all, actually. We're just gonna quickly get a reference to our, not our render buffer, our rigid body. And we're just gonna quickly set this velocity to be our input direction multiplied by our, do we have a movement speed? I think we do in our movement profile. Dot movement speed ground. Perfect. So if we have, I need 1 second is so fast. Yeah, I do kind of breeze through stuff, but it's just basically saying when we're pointing up on our stick, just kind of get whatever direction we're facing in. It's not anything too terribly complicated in practice. It's just kind of something that looks complicated and is a bit tough to explain. Let me get my controller out here real quick. Yeah, and it works. So this is just holding up on the stick, and it points us to wherever our camera is facing, so that's perfect. Gravity is not hooked up yet, so that's all that does. But it's good to know that that is our correct thing. So it was just a test. We don't need that in there right now. What we do need, because we want that to be something that our movement controller handles. So because we already have this set up in our other class that's actually clean and looks nice, this should not be there. I think I can just take this out, actually. That's not something it should be in charge of. Movement controller shouldn't be doing any validation. It should just be a class that holds how to do things, like movements. We need to take in our velocity and change it based on the direction and speed we've given it. So in, oops, what is this? Oh yeah, we're not worrying about that right now. So all we need to do is call our movement controller. Oh, hello. Oh, you're so fast. Got it. So we're gonna get our movement controller and we're just gonna tell it to move. Let's put this in right now, just so we don't have to worry about it later. We're going to open up our player movement profile and we're gonna ask it if not use gravity, if can move. I was talking with my cousin to raid you and he accepted. That'd be awesome, honestly. I've been maxing out at about 2 viewers on most streams, so a raid would be a great way to get some publicity going. Move, and what do we have to pass in? Direction, speed, and acceleration. So our direction is our input direction. Our speed is our player movement profile, move speed ground. And our acceleration, we'll just set that to 1 so it doesn't do anything. But he has to end the stream, as any raid does need to. I'll probably be on for a while yet. My current plan is to be streaming for about 2 hours and 30 minutes today. We're only about an hour into the stream. But that's just my current plan. I might end up going longer if I feel like it. But we're doing at least that long. What was I doing again? I have such a short attention span. If I look at anything else for even a moment, my focus is gone. Didn't I set movement speed? I did. So why don't we move? Oh, we're getting a null reference exception. That right there would be why. 49. What don't we have a reference to? So probably we don't have a reference to our... Oh, you know what? It's actually absolutely right. We're not using a movement controller. Right. We need player movement, which is an offshoot of movement controller. The tube doesn't move with the tube. Which tube? I'm not quite sure what you're referring to, actually. We do need to get rid of this. And we do need to add this. I refer, it doesn't have an animation, the enemies one? You mean this guy over here? Oh, that just snaps back over there. I guess I didn't, no, it looks like it moves. It's just the missile that isn't moving. But that's just because there's a weird animation bug going on at the moment. That's something I'm going to fix later. I don't think this needs to be moved because I'll probably have it parented to the drone, so it'll move up and down with it once we get around to that. But I'm just kind of cleaning up my player controller script at the moment, just because we have this, what used to be the old one, and it's just... I don't know, it has everything all over the place, and if I don't fix it now, it's going to become super unmanageable in no time at all. So we need to move by 1. We actually have that now. Is it initialized correctly? I mean, yeah. Okay, so we just need that. Now the null reference exception is fixed. I should be able to move. And that we can. So let's actually quickly fuck with... No, I actually have acceleration variables. Let's just plug that in then. PLR and P4 are not air, my air. Not move speed either. What am I doing? Acceleration ground. There we go. So if it's 1, then it'll move up to our maximum velocity immediately. But since this is a percentage, if we drop this down to say, I don't know, 0.2, is that too low or still too high? You know, that feels crisp enough. Oh, did we crash? Did we get our first crash of the stream? It's sure as hell we did. Fuck's sake. Oh yeah, where's my fucking count? I changed some things around. Let's add that count back in. Unity 1, Night Roost 0. Oh, Unity is way more than just 1. I'll tell you that. God, I cannot fucking spell today. Perfect. There we go. Crash count is now live. Oh, well, that's doing that. I suppose we can at least code in some extra stuff. The only thing I'm not quite understanding is it kind of looks like to me, whenever we move, if our acceleration is less than full, our movement speed is less than full. It feels like it slows us down ever so slightly, and I'm not exactly sure if that is... Actually, there's a way I could easily test that, which we'll do once we get Unity back open. Do you have a date to end the game? Not yet. I'm not far enough in development to even have an idea of what the release date will be, but I guess I do want to finish it this year, or at least put it into like an early access this year. So I guess December 31st is my current date to end, but I have no idea whether that's going to be achievable or not, because I don't even have a good idea of what the scale of this game is. So at least by the end of this year, I'll have a... Well, at the end of this month, I hope I'm going to have a better idea of what this game is going to be. If I don't know what this game is going to be by then, I don't know how I'm going to fucking finish it at all. Okay, so what we're going to do to test and see whether or not our maximum speed is going to be... Can I not just, like, move that in a little bit? Can I just, like, shove this over? Yeah, there we go. That works. So I'm just going to quickly duplicate my player here, and we're going to have one of these be full acceleration, and the other one should... Oh yeah, we never did actually. We're going to set this to be 0.2. So we should just be able to hold up and see if they end up going the same speed. And if you want to say something to my cousin, his name is Nallard. That is in Twitch. His real name is Jesus. God, did we just fucking crash again? Fuck. Yep, 2-0. I really need to figure out why we're crashing so often. Because I'm not going to be able to develop very quickly if I'm going to have to keep doing this. I should check and see what version Cinemachine is compatible with, actually. I might be running it on a bad version. Actually, give me a sec. I'm gonna look this up. Unity 2020. What am I using? 1.0. Oh, I'm in an alpha build. That might be why we're crashing so often. Ooh, yeah, we're in an alpha build. Let's see if anyone's just having a problem with Unity crashing in this version. Well, actually, it's such a specific version that people probably aren't worrying about it. I'll just update it to something more stable later, I think. But we're gonna try and work with this for now. I'll fix it off stream. That's not really something I need to do at the moment. We still have the right player movement at the very least. Can I get just a couple seconds of this doing it good? Pull both of these back, and we'll pull one just to the left. Okay. So those definitely are just going the same speed. we just can't turn around as quickly because of the lerp. And I think that's why it feels just a little bit slower. It's like less snappy. That's just basically for me to test this lerp thing. Because if we put this down like really low, so the one on the left has no acceleration and the one on the right has very slow acceleration. So I just wanted to make sure that the way I coded it, they both were getting up to the same max speed, and it looks like that is the case. So we don't need the second one anymore. Let's try 0.1. But yeah, I don't think I properly explained why I was doing that. Yeah, that feels alright. It's a lot less snappy than we had it before, but I think that's good. I was looking at like a top 10 best 3D platformers list, and I kind of noticed that all of them had nearly the same amount of like ground snappiness. So I think I had mine too floaty on the ground, but we do want it to be more floaty in the air. So I think I want something like that, but this acceleration air isn't hooked up to anything at the moment, so we won't be able to test that for a bit. But the nice thing about the way that I set up this movement function is because I have the speed and acceleration values as something I can define, I might actually be able to do this right away. Let's try getting our aerial movements. The first thing that we're going to need to do is know whether or not we are in the air to begin with. To do that, we're going to have to use a ray cast. So we're just going to create a new ray, first of all, just to make initializing a little bit easier. And I think I need a, what is it, origin and direction? Yeah. So we're going to take in our position. Yeah, just our position. No, we're gonna make this as good as it needs to be the first time, so I don't have to keep going back and refactoring this shit over and over. So we're gonna take our transform position, but we're also going to move it down by a certain amount. And the reason why we're not gonna do that in code. That's dumb. We're gonna do that in the editor, because essentially what we want to fix, there we go, is as it stands, the center of our character is right here, but if we check to see if we're grounded from this point, we're gonna have to move down past our like legs, I guess, to hit the floor. So what we're gonna do actually is, this is actually moved up already, but I want this to be, oh god, this is gonna be a bit of a pain actually to do. Do I want to up by 0.5? It's actually hard to see with the material that we have on it. Let's change that for just a moment. Yeah, okay, so now our origin is at the very, very bottom. So, as long as we can take this and move it up just enough so that our legs are no longer in the ground, and I should probably be doing this on the idle animation, but this will be good for now. So now we have our origin set at our very, very bottom. So we can just take our transform position and check to vector 3 dots down so that we can shoot a ray directly at the ground. We also need a ray cast hit for us to be able to tell where we hit. I'm just going to call this hit info. And now it's just a bit of standard stuff. So we're going to ask if physics.raycast and we are going to pass it in. What do we need? We need to pass an array. We need to pass out hit info, and we also need max distance. So we're going to use this kind of setup. So we're going to pass it in array. We're going to pass out our hit info, and we're going to give it a max distance of 0.1f. Something just really small to check and see if we're basically in contact with the ground or not. So if this is true, then we can set our player movement profile is grounded equal to true. And if it's not, we simply just set our is grounded equal to false. And that's literally all we have to do to check and see if we are grounded or not. That takes care of it. So actually, because that's just something that's designed to check and see if we're grounded, I'm going to extract that method and call this function check if grounded. And it's I'll have it pass back a bool just in case we want to use it directly. And to do that, I'll just return plrmp dot is grounded. So now if you ever just want to check and see if we're grounded, we can do that. Yeah, I'll leave it as an option. But I'm just going to check the movement profile variable from here. So if we're grounded, we get this. And, you know, we only want to be able to move in the air and ground if this is true, but we want to depend on which movement we do based on this. So instead of having it be an and, I'm just going to create a new if statement in here so that we can do, oops, not there, so that we can do this. And we'll just take this in, paste that, change ground to air, and change ground to air. And that should basically allow us to move at different speeds. Well, not different speeds. Well, yeah, different speeds, actually, because I did do that. So this will make it so that we move appropriately depending on what our current state is. But in order to check that, I think we also are going to have to be able to jump. So, and actually having it like this is going to be nice, because we can essentially go if... We're just going to steal this. We're going to plop that in there, check if grounded, so it'll return a bool. And our input manager has our jump key, check if down. So on the frame that we press the jump key, if we're grounded, then I think we also have this set up, don't we? Movement controller dot jump with our player movement profile dot jump power. I think that just works. Though gravity is set to its own function, so we should also check that. I think that should work. And I mean, that's already just so much cleaner than, well, all of this shit. Unity, hello. Hello? There we go. And then put that material back. So we are not grounded. Is 0.1 too low of a number? This is going to be far too much for distance. Oh, wait, are we? Oh, yeah, we are. Yeah, okay. It was probably just too small of a distance to actually make it to the ground. Which is a little bit strange because the ground shouldn't be any far away. We still aren't grounded. That should be updating. Okay. So why is that? Was I doing something different with my other raycast? I mean, no, like literally. We have our ray that's set to our transform position at vector3.down, where we have a raycast hit info, and we're checking to see if physics.raycast that ray out hit info at a value that's less than what we're using right now. So if this worked, why does this not work? This is programming in a nutshell. Most of the time, it just doesn't want to do the thing that you're making it do. You know, maybe it's because I moved this. Let's just check if grounded every frame. And see if that fixes it, because it might just be that it's not getting called. But I thought I set it up so it would. Oh, we're still not getting it. Why? Okay, so it's getting called, but it's always being set to false. So it's always being checked, but it's not hitting anything? Is that what I'm to believe? Let's check something, actually. Do some good old bug fixing. So why would it not be finding the ground? We're going to set a quick debug. We're going to draw a ray from our transform position, and we're going to give it our vector3.down. Color, we don't need color. We'll just make it white. Actually, no, we are going to give it color. We're going to give this, oops, not that. We're going to make this one green. And then over here, we're going to make this one red. That way, we're going to be able to see exactly what the fuck is going on here. Because I don't get it. So it's definitely shooting out from the right spot. But I wonder, are we too close to the ground maybe? Hold on, I might be onto something. What if we move this up? Yeah, okay. We were too close to the ground. We were shooting basically through the ground and hitting nothing. Okay. That's acceptable. Valorant is out? Is that a game? It is a game. I'm not familiar with it. What is Valorant? Is it what kind of genre does it go in? It's not a game? What is it then? It is the new Riot Games one? Riot Games' new competitive 5v5? Oh yeah, I think I did hear about this a while ago. But I only like heard about it a little bit and like nothing ever again, so I kind of forgot it existed. So it's not in beta anymore. Cool. I might check that out later. Could be fun, who knows. Either way, I've got a job to do at the moment. So with this setup, still not hitting the ground. Actually, hold on. I did change this. So let's multiply both of these by 0.1f so that they are the correct length. Just so I can really see what's going on here. Because it might just be that now we aren't reaching the ground. Yeah, it looks like it's just a little bit too short. So we'll just give this, like, what, an extra 0.05? Actually, you know what? We shouldn't really have it so that you can only do it when you're, like, right next to the ground. Let's set these to 0.2, just so there's a little bit of leeway, because you'll want to be, you'll want it to hit the ground, or you'll want the character to register that it is grounded, not when it is actually on the ground, but at the point that a player is going to think that it's on the ground. So yeah, that technically works, but I think our gravity amounts is too much to really check. Yeah, there we go. So, just really test to make sure that this is working, right? We have very snappy movement, and yeah. So very snappy movement on the ground, very kind of floaty movement in the air. It's a bit too floaty though, I think. Kind of can't change direction. But I mean, that's not really... Well, what's our ground acceleration like then? Because if that's not much less than this... you know, we're actually going to make this 0.2, and we're going to make this 0.08. Are those good values? Only one way to find out. You know, I could just test this in runtime. Fucking see ya. Bye-bye. Oh, we have... Hold on, I gotta reset my gravity. Yeah, that actually feels pretty okay for ground movement. It's not like too snappy, it's not too unresponsive. I need to lower this gravity and boost my jump power. Because I need more airtime to feel this out. Yeah, okay. Whoops. Oh, right, we don't have any double jumps set at the moment. Let's fix that too. Okay, so we're gonna check to see if jump key is down. And if it is, then we're going to check our grounded state. And if we are, we jump. But if we aren't, else, I guess, if then our current jump count is less than our max jumps, then we jump using the same PLR and P jump power, and set our current jump count plus. Perfect. That should be sufficient for now. So with that, we should be able to do our double jumps again. So we have 1, 2, 3, and none. Looks like that's correct. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. That looks like it works great. Let's take a moment and just drink a coffee, relax a bit. Think about what the next thing we have to do is. So we have our movement, we have our jump. I don't really feel like tackling the dash right now, but is there anything else that needs to be done? I mean, now that we're making this all clean, I could try putting in the acceleration system, but I kind of wanted to focus the stream on just cleaning up what I already have rather than adding in new stuff. Oh, hey. Hey, Maple. Yes, put it in, Daddy. You're gonna come around to my stream and make that your first message? I mean, I could just knuckle down and do it, but okay, what else is in here that I could do that I'm probably forgetting about? How else would I honor my daddy coon? Very, very true. You wouldn't be you if you weren't exclusively gay with me. Glide. I don't want to do the glide. Do I really have nothing else other than that shit? You know, I guess actually adding in the dash and the glide wouldn't be that tough, because I don't actually really need to do anything to make it work. I just need to hook back up whatever already made work, right? Because all I need... Love the indie crash count. I think we got it to, what was it, 6 last stream? And I was only on for like a couple hours. It's honestly ridiculous how many times I've been getting Unity crashes on this project. I think it's due to Cinemachine, but who honestly could tell? I mean, yeah, basically all we need to do is put these 2 lines back in and then it works. Alright, fuck it. We're doing the dash. So, do we do that in can move, or am I making it so can move? No, we're doing it in can move. So, we're going to check and see if our input manager dot dash key is check if held, I guess, because that's only a thing that we want if the button is being held down. It's not like a jump. So if it's held, it's a function. I'll worry about the energy in a sec. Just gotta make sure this works first. By dash, do you mean sprint or short bursts? Kind of sprint, but air accessible as well. You'll see what I mean in just a sec. Dash. Really? Just left stick value? No, okay. We'll stick dot get value. And I think we have a dash speed. We do. What were these angle steepnesses? I'll just hard put these in. Bool is down. Okay. I'm gonna have to probably rewrite this dash function because I don't remember how this works, and that's usually a good sign that it's not an intuitive system. Check if down. And then all this is just for extra effects. I prefer short bursts. Having both could be fun. Dash for the intense moments and speed boosts for moving around. I mean, it's mostly a sprint, but it starts with a burst. At least I think it still does that. It's like a tap is a burst, and then holding it down is a burst into sprint. Let's see if it still works. Yeah. Why is our up and down not really working as well? Our left and right is kinda fine. Dash speed. Are we remembering to? Okay, hold on. Let me just look at this and figure it out. Because I'll be able to make my pitch for the dash mechanic a little bit easier if I can actually show you what it's supposed to do. Transform that forward. Hey, thanks for the follow. I appreciate it. I thought I changed that image though. I'll have to look at that again later, but it's good for now. Let's see, speed, invert, direction times angle steepness. Transform that up. Y, invert. Because I put this angle, but it's the same as it used to be, so it shouldn't be a problem. Let's play with it though, see what happens. What happens if I make this just ridiculously large? That's always a good way to test things, because then at least if it changes something and you change it to something super extreme, then you'll get a good feel for what it does, because it'll just go wildly out of control in kind of a predictable manner. Or it doesn't do anything at all. That's another possibility. Okay. Player dash speed 0.5. It was 0.5 F and you changed it to 50. Does the F matter? It doesn't quite matter, but basically all that the F means is if I have, say, or I'll actually just kind of do it here. If I had, say, 50.5 and I tried to compile it like that, Unity is going to just give me an error saying that it cannot convert double to float, just because this, as it is a different variable type that doesn't support... Well, this is looking for a float, but it's going in as a double. Just by giving it the F means that it'll take in decimal values just fine, but because I'm just setting it to an integer value, the F doesn't necessarily matter. Sometimes that's important, because if you forget the F and you say try and divide like 1 by 5 or something, it will divide 1 by 5, but it'll round it to the nearest integer, so most of the time it's just 0. So in cases like that it matters, but you know what? I'll give it a shot. It's doing weird things right now, and that's how it should function, but it's not always predictable. Yeah, that still isn't doing anything, and it doesn't look like I fucked anything here. Get value, dash speed, that, if down. So that is all the same. And none of this... Actually, it's probably being overridden by this. So let's actually just quickly throw in an else statement and make this only happen if it's not being held, and see if that fixes things. Otherwise, it's probably just, yeah, that probably makes sense. Oh, that's interesting. So by disabling that, we are getting literally no movement at all. So this wasn't overriding anything, but it was giving us the only movement that we had. So let's go ahead and check our function then, because we done goofed up somehow. Direction equals transform forward, and we're multiplying that by angle steepness. Oh, we're multiplying it by angle steepness. So what we did fuck up in a brief moment. Where's that variable? Where'd I put that? Is it in the script? Is it just in the script and I forgot about it? Yeah. So the movement speed should actually be bigger the less that this number is. So by turning it up super high and getting nothing, that should have actually kind of been the correct response from the game. Oh yeah, there we go. Now we're getting some movement. But it's not being applied to our camera. So let's quickly do that. So actually, instead of this get value, let's put in our input direction, because that is mapped to the camera. And I think that'll fix it. And then I can kind of say how this dash should be working according to my original design idea. Why aren't we getting... Well, now we can't go up. Oh, are we out of music again? We are out of music again. Let's throw on another lo-fi chill hip-hop mix. So... Oh, it's because input direction is now referring to a vector that doesn't have our Y position. So let's actually undo that. What was the problem with this before? I forget what I was trying to fix by this. Right, it wasn't being mapped correctly to the camera. want to map it correctly to the camera, I need to you know what, I'll give this input direction, but right before I do that, I'm just going to change how this works. Just for the brief moment before the dash, because that's all we really need. We do want to look forward. Plus cannot be applied to operands of type float in vector 3. Absolutely correct, but I think I just want vector 3 dot up, right? So that our forward and backward on the stick is equal to up and down in vector space. That makes sense to me. Let's see if it makes sense to the computer. Yeah. Other than it being inverted, that is correct. But we're still not getting left and right correctly. But it should be. Because I'm not doing anything different to it. I think it's because I built this dash weird. It's based on bad vector math. Let's try hooking it back up to the other dash profile I have then. Because I'm pretty sure that one still works, and it should work okay with this system. I don't know if I need that, if I'm doing it like that. But I also changed it because the last dash system wasn't working either. How do I hook this back up to itself? Like, I really don't just understand why this line should not work. Okay, well, obviously, giving it our adjusted direction isn't giving us what we want. Lift stick done. This was at least kind of correct, right? Oh, you know, I could make it based. I know why this isn't working. I forgot to do something very, very specific. That's causing the whole thing to not go correctly. I have no transform dot look at. Fuck. I need to get my rigid body velocity plus transform position, because I had this dash working based on the orientation of the player character, but I didn't have anything that was updating the orientation of the player character, so it couldn't turn. I think that's the only difference I can think of. Yeah, there we go. Okay, it's just a bit sensitive, but now it is working. So I just need to lower that sensitivity by increasing this number. 0.5 is what I had that before? I think that was still a little bit much. Let's try 0.8. There we go. This should work. And you know, my sixth sense is telling me that Unity's about to crash, so I'm just gonna save everything before I go in. Yeah, that feels okay. It's like nice and loose. I might tighten that up later. That's fine. So basically what I want to have happen with this dash is interesting. Basically what I want it to have with this dash is when you press the button, it'll send you out in like a straight line for a little bit at a slightly faster speed, and then give you this kind of smooth control. He's hungry. Don't you ever feed your workers? You mean this guy, or do you mean me? Because the answer is no in both cases. Slaves. Nah, my slaves don't deserve sustenance. When they die, I just buy new ones. Let's see. What was I about to do? I always get distracted and forget. So I got that in. What was I doing? Was I getting it so that the energy? I was gonna hook up the energy component back up. Okay, so I do have this, so I should just be able to use my energy, shouldn't I? So we're also gonna check with the dash key being held if our current energy is bigger than 0, I think. And then we set our current energy to be minus equals. I'll just use time dot fixed delta times. So it just kind of goes down by a number of seconds, and that way we can set our maximum energy to just be however many seconds we want to be able to use this for. And then when we are grounded, we will reset our current energy back to our max energy. And then we're just gonna go down here. It's, I think, is it player? It's not player effect script. Would I have that saved as the variable for? PEC. So we'll call our player effect controller, and I think I just need update energy bar with our current energy. Do you want it to be a hard refresh or take time? I haven't really decided on that yet. I'm thinking hard refresh because I do want it to be I do want the movement to be very flowy. So I want people to be able to like dash into these and then immediately jump off and just have their full dash. I think that's how I want it, but I might refresh it too. It kind of depends for me what I'm going to do based on how you interact with enemies. Because, well, I did feel that coming, didn't I? Crash count 3. Because I want it to be snappy right now, but I also kind of want to make the enemies part of the movement system. So I want you to get some of your energy back as you kill enemies. And if that's the case, then maybe having it take time to recharge will make it a little less spammy, but I won't know that for sure until I test it. So just for now, I'm keeping it the way it is. The other option would be based on level design. If you make it so they have to run for a bit before jumping again, it can be a soft refresh. That is also true. But I think in this circumstance, having the level design inform how the movement system works is not going to be as good as having how the movement system works inform the level design. Because I want to build the level design to kind of more match the movement system. So That's something that is in the back of my mind at all times, but it is also something that I'm not really going to play too much with until I have enough mechanics in the game that I can test how it feels both with and without. Because my goal at the moment is just to kind of get, I guess, a proof of concept going. I have... How long do I have to finish this based on my own kind of deadline? I have 2 days, 11 hours, 31 minutes, and 3 seconds from now to kind of get this proof of concept going. And then after that, I'm going to be testing a lot more of those kind of designs. RAP on my counter. So I think I tested everything. We aren't able to hear you right now? Is my mic off? It looks like it's going through on me. Fix this first of all. I'll assume for the moment you can hear me and continue my work. But if my mic isn't coming through, that could be a bit of a problem. Are we good? Oh, is that what the rip was about? Was that a rip to me being able to talk to you guys on stream? Any confirmation from chat would be greatly appreciated at the moment. Well, I'll just continue until one of you pipes up. At the very least, you can you can read that I asked you a question. So based on what we currently have, what else needs to be done? So we have our jumps. We have flight that ends correctly. Fuck sake. Crash count goes up. I don't know. Actually, hold on. I can check. Let me just, let me open my own stream and see if I can hear myself talking. Because that's about the best way that I can think to test this right now. Alright, so can I hear me? I mean, I can hear me. That seems to be fine on my end. Let me just think. We have the dash, we have the jump. We could put the glide back in without too much trouble, probably. So I don't want to be able to glide while we're dashing. But I do want to be able to move while you're gliding. That much is still very important, I think. So we're gonna go if and my brain is just dying right now. If our input manager glide is bigger than 0, then we want to set our movement controller glide. Do I need any? We do. Do I have these set up? Actually, I think I specifically didn't set these up because I thought I wouldn't be using them yet. Do I want to put this in the movement profile? I don't think I do. Not right now, anyway. Go down into max speed of 2 for the moment, and I don't think fall no, we do have fall acceleration, actually, don't we? Or at least I think I did have that set up. Glide. Oh, right, I had it based on how long we were timed. I'm just gonna set that to 0 for now, so it just stays constant through the whole thing. Oh, my Unity is still crashed. Okay, gotta restart that. I mean, I could set the dash and the fly to different buttons, maybe. So that you can use both options interchangeably. That might actually be... Yeah, I think that might actually be what I want to do. It's not too hard, though. That's basically just taking what I already have and just splitting it into 2 different functions for 2 different buttons instead. And then I suppose if I want to make it back the way it was later, that'd be incredibly trivial to do as well. Well, not incredibly trivial, but not too terribly hard. Well, either way, that's not what I want to do right now. Did I lose any Unity progress when it crashed? Is this still kind of... Yeah, okay, that's all working still fine. Oh, hey, our glide works. Perfect. Nice. Nice, nice. I love that. So 2 is actually kind of a value I enjoy. I wanna hook up some animations. Finally made my rat. I do not know what that stands for. but I am curious of what that is. What is an RAT? Let's see. So if I need to hook this up to the energy system, then I just need to make current energy minus equals time dot fixed delta time, and I want it to consume 4 times less energy, I think. Remote control. It's just to teach some kids a lesson to not exploit in games. Still have no idea what you're talking about. A remote control for what? It's just to teach some kids a lesson to not exploit in games? Which game? That bit of context might help me out to understand you. So if I've done this correctly, perfect. I've done this correctly. Cool. I'm gonna rehook up the death system though, I think. Interesting. Can move was being set to false, but it was still... Actually, for the moment, I'm gonna hack in just a simple restart script, because I don't like the way that the old one was working anyway. So we're gonna just quickly check to see if input.get keydown keycode.r. It's basically an exe file that can be binded in anything whenever someone opens the file. They don't see anything, but I see everything. I can reverse connect without them knowing in my control panel, and do basically anything, spyware. That seems... I'm not gonna say illegal, but that does sound useful. I'm gonna go with useful. If I put... Oh, I need this to be an if statement. That's why. Perfect. It's legal and illegal, I suppose, depending on what you use it for, right? Oh, hey, thanks for the follow. I really appreciate it, man. I'll have to give this... Where does this have UI in it? Do not need UI. But for the moment, I do need the scene manager. Is that not Unity? Oh, I meant Unity script. Whoops. Engine.scene management. I was getting tired of kiddos getting cheats in games. Oh, so you're saying you attach the remote control to a quote unquote cheat, so you can kind of you know, to teach some kids lessons to not exploit in games. Just to fuck with them a bit. Okay. You know, that I can get behind. That I'm on board with. I'm all on board for some vigilante justice online. Alright, so keycode.r. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. Scene manager dot load scene 0, I think. And then all we're gonna have to do just to make that work is add what kind of game are you making? I am trying to make a 3D platformer that I do believe I want to have Metroidvania elements. Because I was working on another project just to kind of teach myself some coding skills, and I realized that other than Metroid Prime, nothing's ever really tried to bridge the gap between 3D platforming and Metroidvania. You have a lot of 2D Metroidvanias that have come out, like Ori and the Blind Forest, Chasm, countless others that I'm not thinking about. But as far as 3D platformers go, none of them seem to Metroidvania it up, at least none that I'm familiar with. So, seeing as 3D platformers and Metroidvanias are both two things that I absolutely enjoy, I figured I might as well do it myself. So I should just be able to push the R key and reset if I say yeet myself off a cliff. Perfect. That'll do for now. And that way I don't have to use this weird death script that I had set for myself. That sounds cool. I think I will start learning game programming. Yeah, by all means, dude. And if you ever have questions, feel free to drop in stream and I'll answer them if I can. I've been coding since I was, I think 12. I'm 23 now for context, so I've been coding for a little over 10 years then. So even though I'm not the best programmer, I'm not going to say that about myself, I do know quite a few things about Unity and C# just from experience alone. Once this channel actually starts to get some views behind it, I would love to start doing coding tutorials. I think that'd be really fun, and I think I could. I think I could do it. I have confidence in my teaching ability. So now that we have all of this stuff, I kind of want to, because I mean this is clean now. And it's got... Wait, this is clean now. And I have all of my basic movement stuff in? Is that really all I need to do in this script? I mean, it kind of looks like it, actually. Am I? Huh. I refactored it. Cool. I hadn't thought I was that close, but... You know, this is so much cleaner than all of this garbage. Yeah, we don't need this. Okay, but I think I can close that down and just focus on moving forward now. It worked. It did work. Gotta get those lulls. Okay, so I guess now that I have everything refactored, I can start putting in some of the new shit that I wanted to get done. Like, for instance, our enemies. Because I started to put these, Actually, before I do the enemies, let's rehook up player animation. That I do want back in. So I think I want to do this over in our effect controller. Animator component. Let's call this anim for now. Hold up, I'm gonna be AFK for a bit. I need to work in Photoshop so the exploit looks trusted. Sure, is that a hold up because you want to see me do the animation bits live? Because I can work on some other stuff if that's the case. I don't mind chilling out and doing a couple other features if that's something you're interested in. Do a set animation state here and get a public enum animation states. And currently all we need is idle what do I want, like wings out? I'm just gonna call that glide and flap. And that way I can take in an animation state. New state. New state. Perfect. And then all we want to do... Oh, that's its own thing. animations. If it's gonna be that close, I'm gonna get weird things. So I'm gonna call this. Let's call this anim state. That will be better. That's better. Yeah. Anim state, new state. States. And then if I'll just do a switch. Switch new state. Case anim states dot idle is going to be our anim dot, and I think I have these up to set triggers. Set trigger idle? Hold on, let me take a look at my animator component real quick. Well, I said, there we go. Well, that could definitely be more useful. Oh, that's because this is the wrong animator? Why is that giving me that animator? Do I need... There we go. I need to actually go to the body. So... just serialize this. That'll be easiest. So we have our... Oh, it is a trigger. Okay, cool. Set trigger idle. Break. And we're gonna need a case anim states dot glide anim dot set trigger to be... What's that called again? Idle run flap. Don't think I can use glide then. Let's just use flap and go flap, because I think it's set to automatically transition into glide. I'll need to create a separate trigger for that, but that should at least let me know if I'm setting this up correctly again. Oh, and I guess if we're gonna be using set animation states, I should at least call those so I can check and see if it's working. So with dash that. You know, if we're grounded, then I'm going to say PEC dot set animation states. Animation state idle, because I don't have a run hooked up to our component just yet. And then anytime we jump, we want this flap anim state. And I think that's it, actually. Kind of liking this lo-fi playlist, though. Pardon? Unassigned reference exception? You're absolutely goddamn right. Okay, let's just get this real quick. There we go. Yeah, that actually looks rather nice. Look at that. Uh-oh. Why did that happen? Why is it going back to idle? Huh? Why did it go back to idle? Was it already in the transition when I jumped? It was already in transition when I jumped. Okay. Is that something that I care to fix? Oh, it's because we can be grounded for a brief moment after we jump. which is bad. I mean, it's not so bad. And I don't want to be checking the rigid body velocity. And wait, didn't I leave a... Right, okay, so in movement profile, I think I'm going to set a rigid... Can I not? Oh, because I'm not using Unity. Let's use Unity Engine. So I can get a rigid body, and I'm going to call this rigid body. And then I think... I'm not incredibly sure, because I've never really done... I've never really used components like this, but I think, I believe that in here I can set, what is it, my movement profile, my PLR MP dot rigid body. You know, it does need to be public. That is a thing that needs to be done. Public. Public rigid body. And I should just be able to say rigid body equals get component rigid body. And then I can do transform.look at rigid body, not rigid body, plr.mp rigid body dot velocity. And that'll just make it a little bit easier to control, because then I can actually probably go into, what is it, movement controller? And then wherever we have RB rigid body velocity equals get component that, I don't think I want to do that. Oh, but then I'm going to need maybe not actually, then. Let's actually just set this one to public. And then do MC dot RP dot velocity. I think that's better. That's gonna be better. And then, where's that movement profile? Fucking just get this shit out of here. And get this shit out of here. That should be good enough. Because, yeah, this is supposed to be in control of our rigid body, so it makes the most sense to just have it there. But we do also probably want to be able to check it. So I will make it checkable. Why did we want to be able to check it? There was a very specific reason that I did that, and then immediately forgot about it, as per me. Thought I heard something upstairs. I didn't, or at the very least, it was a burglar who's now quiet. If I get murdered, I get murdered, you know? C'est la vie. What was I just doing? I really need to get better at not losing my train of thought. That's the one thing I need to get better at. I'm so incredibly distractible. I mean, having 3 coffees in me over the course of this... I've had 3 coffees this stream, and I've only been streaming for like 2 hours and 30 minutes. Jeez, I need to cut back on caffeine. But it does contribute to the fact that I can't focus, because it just gives me too much energy and not enough places to put it. What was I doing? It was something about animation. Something about animation, right? What was it about animation that I was doing? What did I just change? You know, it probably doesn't help that I haven't eaten yet today either. I just kind of like woke up and started streaming. Oh, there is someone upstairs. I imagine that's just Dad, though. We set... God, I can't remember. Rigid body. We set rigid body so that we could... what? Why do we need to know how fast... Oh, right, to fix the animation. Got it. I'm back on track. Back on track. So, before we set animations to idle, we're going to check and see for movement controller, rigid body velocity Y is less than or equal to 0. That way we'll only do it when we're going down, or at the very least not going up. And that should prevent us from transitioning back into our idle animation state once leaving the ground. So we should be able to jump, and it does not work. Cool. Love it. Love it every time. Why, though? We're going from bank to idle. Done gonna upload it tomorrow? Tomorrow. If you're done, why not upload it right now? Why do we transition to that? We shouldn't have exit time. That should happen. But... I'm just gonna yeet myself off so I can check this. Yeah, it goes to idle, but it shouldn't be able to. Pretty tired right now, and I'm too lazy to buy a domain? Okay, I feel that. Why? And how? Okay. Because the thing I don't understand is we're only setting it to that if we are both grounded and not moving up. And it shouldn't be able to maybe it's because this has exit time. By the way, when you talked about if it's illegal or not, well, what are the feds going to do to me? There's too many people using RATS and none of them were ever arrested on LMAO. I mean, yeah, things being illegal is kind of relative. I think having it have exit time is the problem. That just immediately transitions? Why? don't understand. I mean, it's kind of... So it goes to my idle state. I pop out of idle state, but then it goes immediately to it. Why? Oh, is it because... It's because the trigger doesn't unset itself. Huh. Okay. Right. Okay. It's impossible for the feds to know that I'm spying on someone unless they're spying. Yeah, I mean, maybe, but it doesn't seem like something they'd put too many resources towards. I gotta figure out how to... Maybe having it be a trigger isn't what I want. What other options do I have for setting triggers? Can I set a trigger to... No. Well, there's no set option, so I can't set it to false. So my options are change how that works entirely, or figure out a way to have the trigger set correctly. What about that? Is one click of the backspace all I need to make this work right? It'd be great if it is. So we jump. Never mind. Because it... Yeah, this isn't resetting. Do I maybe just instead want to... Because it's the set of the trigger that's the problem. I can't unset a trigger is the other problem. So I need this to happen when I hit the ground, but only the first time that I hit the ground. Alright, this will be true for a couple frames, because we're checking to see if we're about to touch the ground. Actually, no, that shouldn't be true. Or... Oh no, because it'll check it, set it, and then on the next frame when we drop down just a little bit more to touch the ground. So actually, if that might actually be what we want. To only do it if we're not moving. Because that'll mean that we're... Yeah, okay, I think this works. Well, fuck me then. It doesn't. Well, I guess that's because we're on a slope, so our velocity isn't exactly. Oh, but now whenever we're on the ground, it's the same problem. Are we out of music again? So we are. This isn't her answer. Hey, were we checking to see if we're grounded or not? Right here? Okay, so let me try putting it in here then. So, I think what we can do is, instead of checking to see whether or not we're on the ground, I think we'll check to see if we're hitting the ground. So in this case, if our is grounded is equal to false, but this is no. Oh wait, this is player controller. Wait, what? That should work, and I do not understand why not. Fuck it, we'll just leave it. It's not worth taking care of right now. Really sorry about the noise. I'll try and mute my microphone whenever possible. Oh, that's interesting. We can use it whether or not we have energy. That needs to be fixed. What did I just change? I changed something. Oh, right, just for glide energy. I'll check and make sure it works. Might as well. Perfect. By the way, if you need a mascot, I can make one for free. Actually, it'd be very handy. I definitely could use a. I could use one, but I'm not getting any sight off of that. Unless that just needs like a www on it. No, something's up with that. But I would be down for that. That'd be very nice. That's not what I want. Why is this happening? I don't quite understand. Oh, it's because our... maybe because we're not centered on our Y. Well, if that's the case, then I just won't worry about it right now. Yeah, that at least looks better. It's slightly more stable, at least. I think it's high time I hook these up. Actually, first, I'm just gonna fix the animations on these because they're not really doing what I want. Not to mention that, like, currently I can move these around? No, I was just pulling the wrong thing. But yeah, I can't move these, and I need to be able to do that, so I think I'm going to fix that first. Yeah, okay, I like that. That's still a problem, though. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. Oh. I'll need to fix that in Blender. That's not rotated? Is the whole thing rotated? Oh, okay. I see. Hello, sorry, I was doing things. A4 dude followers. That's really good. Yeah, I'm quite happy with how fast we're getting followers. We get one every now and then, which is really nice. Really nice indeed. Welcome back, by the way. How? What? How is that? What? How is it still the case? Do I need to re-import? I might need to re-import. God, I don't get this. Oh, it's because I did this wrong. Actually, that makes perfect sense. There we go. I think that's better. Perfect. That is exactly what we need. Yeah, there we go. Now he's pointing at me. Nice. It's more or less exactly what we want. What do I need here? I need to not set it to anything, actually. That's what I need to do. Hey, Jeff. Thanks for tuning to the stream, and thanks for the follow. Currently, I am just trying to get this turret and... Oh, I guess this isn't going to work because I didn't set up all of my thingies correctly. I need to give it this. Not quite, actually. Let's, I mean, sorta, but, it shouldn't be raycasting on me. I need to mask that out. Yeah, 4 people. We're starting to get a little bit of a community going. Actually, maybe it'll just make more sense to put the player on its... It is on its own layer. Then we are good there. Let's try that. Still no, huh? Put the counter up. You know, if this keeps happening, I'm gonna have to add some fanfare for when this happens. Oh, you know why it's not doing anything? Because we never added the layer mask to our physics raycast. Can I just do that? It looks like it. We'll see if that does what I want. After we put Unity back up, I suppose. Oh yeah, it crashed. Crashed nice and good. Already at 5 crashes. It's crashed more times than the hours that I've been streaming this time for. I mean, it was that way the last time too. It's almost going at a double rate. Alright, let's try this now that it's not crashed. Come on. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to do some fucking work here because we lost a bit in that crash. We lost a fair bit. Is this still? Yeah, it's still that way. I think that's all I need. But it also needs this again. This again. This again. This again, and that. Save that for when it inevitably crashes in 4 seconds. There we go. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Where's the turret? Is it down here? Wait. Where's it go? It disappears and goes somewhere. Interesting. Oh, I know why I was doing that. We never, we only fixed the first keyframe of movements. So this should actually be 0. This here should be 0, 0, 0.5. And then over here, 0, 0, 0. That is all we need. And then with that, I think everything that's supposed to be working should be working. Yeah, there it is. So it points at us, and we got that nice warning ring targeting us too. And it kind of shoots through us a little bit. But that's fine, I think. Guess the only thing left to do now is try and make a fire. Just need to make a quick prefab out of all these. We need that. That should be good. I do believe that is what we want. We're gonna need one more thing here, actually, because I need to be able to both do that and reset our debug command here. So with that, I think we should be able to just test it using my variety of debug editor buttons. So I think I just get rid of this missile because we have the prefab. And the missile's not going to do anything, but we'll still be able to test whether or not it's going to work when we get to it. So it aims. Unity crashes. Exactly as intended. Cool, cool. Cool, 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 cool. Love it. Feels good every time. Yeah, I know Unity crashed. Figured that one out when the program closed. Don't need you to warning message me. Well, I guess it's kind of helpful. Okay, we gotta get rid of this. And it looks like everything else is still functioning. I think I hit Control S not too long ago. That should do something, shouldn't it? It's because I never instantiate this. So let's just instantiate our warning ring prefab at hidinfo.point. And we don't care about what our rotation is. We're just going to call this quaternion.identity, which is just a fancy way of saying we don't care what our rotation is. I think that should just work. I mean, with that, we are also going to want to just drop that off the face of the earth. And yeah, okay, there's our prefab. So if we blap that, it drops us a warning ring. But also when that happens, we need target locked. To be equal to true. And then if is this what we're looking at it? Oh, no, we already have if that. Okay, never mind. That part is already in there. So with that, when the warning signal drops, it should stop looking at us, so it'll still continue to look at it. That is the plan. So it's looking at us, drops the warning, and continues to look. Perfect. Actually, while we're here, let's also check and make sure if it's just whether or not it's spawning. Well, it is spawning missiles, but I think it's spawning over there because of our animation nonsense that we still have hooked up. I mean, prefabs, missile. Those should not be like that. And just gonna remove the animator for the moment, just to make sure that spawning it is working correctly, because that's more of my focus at the moment. So we aim, and we fire. Now if I go in and I look at this missile, switch from global pivots to local pivots and move this forward. then we can see that it basically intersects with the ground exactly where we want it to. So that's actually rather nice. All that we are gonna have to do at that point is just throw up a collider at that position and make it so we can hurt the player. But I think I'm going to save that for a different stream. I think I'm going to call this one here. I have some other stuff that I'm going to be doing today that I'd rather prepare for. And oh, of course it crashes as I'm ending the stream. You know what? We're gonna set that as 7. It heard me talking dirty to it, so of course it has to crash. But I mean, what better time to end the stream than on a crash? So I think I will. We'll probably be back probably around midnight tonight, so 6 hours from now for whatever time zone people are in. But yeah, for now I'm gonna call it there. Take a break, get ready for the rest of the day, and be back later to finish these turret signs. So yeah, take care everyone. Thanks for those who gave me a follow. I really appreciate it. Yeah, bye dude. It's always nice to see you in chat. Take care guys.